It's your boy Juelz.
I'm Margaret. This is Can We Talk About It? That actually went okay.
Yeah, that was all right.
Well, yeah, all right, cool.
All right.
So we're starting on
Truce.
All right. Starting on a peaceful note. Tell me what's going on in the culture this week, Juelz.
Too much. So much.
Always.
Firstly, I have no idea what's our first topic.
This is why I usually take the reins.
Exactly. I don't know why you threw that at me. Like,
it was in the spirit of peace, but okay. So we're gonna talk today about the no reach pouch.
Oh yeah, that's
which you actually wanted to start with. So how soon we forget. The no reach pouch. A woman invented a pouch that essentially holds all of your, ID, registration, anything you would normally have to reach for in the car were you to be pulled over by the police. This is to prevent
police-related shootings and
murder.
Yeah.
Call it what it is.
Yeah,
to stop murders.
Wow.
When you think about like more recent cases, especially in states where you are allowed to carry a gun with a permit, in the article we read about it, she cited Philando Castile, who had a permit to carry a gun, and he told the officer he had a gun. The officer asked him for the permit. When he reached for the permit, the officer said that he was scared he was reaching for the gun, which he was legally allowed to carry, and killed him. We know recently that cop was acquitted.
Yay.
Surprise.
Justice.
Yeah.
But this is, I have so many feelings about this. I've been on like both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's like, it's a Band-Aid for a bigger problem. But I also feel like it doesn't make sense for so many reasons. The first being that you have to get your ID and stuff in that, right? Like, people don't just keep their ID. Every time you drive, you have to like now start up your day like, all right, when I get into my car, I'm gonna put my ID into this like pouch.
Idea.
But that's like, why would you change the lifestyle instead of changing the problem? Like, now I have to create this whole thing.
So true.
In my car and this whole routine in my personal life.
The blame should not be on the victim.
Exactly.
Right? We should not be having to prevent ourselves from being murdered. But at the same time, if we're not there yet as a society, if we can't just have our cops not kill people, is the alternative to say, I don't want a solution that puts the onus or the responsibility on me. I just rather wait for this to change. I think about it with like issues of like rape, right? You never should blame the victim.
I was thinking about it in the same context, actually.
It's never anyone's fault if they're raped, right? When people tell women, don't dress this way or X, Y, and Z, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, if someone's a rapist, they're a rapist, they're gonna rape you. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when I'm a woman going out, like, if a man buys me a drink, I'm not going to let him go to the bar alone and buy the drink. I'm going to go with him so I can see the drink being made.
Exactly.
Right.
Make sure nobody puts anything
should I have to do that? No. And if I didn't do that and something happened to me, would it be my fault? Absolutely not. It would be his fault because he's a fucking rapist. But at the same time, I'm still going to take measures to protect myself.
You want to have preventative measures. And this is what it is. It's preventative measures. And I don't think it comes from a place of like ignorance. I think it comes from a good place, and it's just like, but why did it just sucks that it has to be us solving the problem. It's just like 100%. When a lot of black kids grow up and their parents say, oh yeah, do this or act this certain way so that you don't get talk this way to the cops or talk this way. It's like we're training people to, like I said, to be victims. We're training people to have like kind of like a victim mentality about certain things. It's just like, all right, you can't do this, you can't do that, and it's affecting our daily lives when it should honestly be the opposite. People should be telling these police, this is the better way to handle this. And if you're not up to being a police officer or up to doing what's necessary, you shouldn't be a cop.
Right.
I feel like it's honestly even too easy to be a cop. Simple changes that we could make is just the training.
It was way too easy to become a cop.
Yeah, like
half the motherfuckers I know who became cops were criminals. Y'all know who you are. Y'all know who you are.
I don't know who they are, but
I'm not snitching. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but like you don't have to take a mental exam or anything like that. Well, you don't have to rank high on the mental exam.
Clearly not.
To become a police officer.
And it's too easy to not get fired. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, that's the biggest problem. Yeah. It's like, I get it. I get like
unions and whatever, but yeah.
I get like them protecting their own because it's just like kind of like a gang mentality thing. But
and the cops are the biggest gang in New York, so.
Oh, are they? But also, it's just such a slap in the face every time it happens.
Of course.
Like, I don't even...
No, I know. And it's like... And how many times when you have these cop-related shootings, when you do hear about the police officer who was involved, they have a history of it? Do you know what I'm saying? Of not even necessarily racism, though sometimes that too. Sometimes cases where they specifically targeted black people or something like that. Sometimes it's just a case of like, this happened because the cop was easily startled like previously. So it's like, you see clearly this person needs more training. So either they're not cut out for the job or you should have trained them better. We know, like, this is the thing. We know that like the problem is not with us, but should we still do what we can to protect ourselves, or are we waiting on society to,
we definitely 100% should do what we can to protect ourselves.
Right.
Because if we waited for society, I feel like we'd be waiting forever.
Exactly.
Like, that's always who I feel like a lot of people of color have been as people throughout history. Just like, you know what, we have to take this into our own hands. We have to protect ourselves.
Exactly.
And this is just another way we can do that. So, I mean, it's a good idea. It's a good idea.
But we shouldn't have to.
Exactly.
Like, I feel like we shouldn't have to, but at the same time, so my father is driving down south next week to visit the family, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, I would want to get that for him. Like, that sounds crazy, but it's like, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, clearly, like, if it would make people feel better, if it makes you feel safer.
Agreed.
Yeah. That's too bad, but it is what it is.
Get yourself a pouch,
you gotta get yourself a pouch, because they out here killing us, and they out here stealing our dance moves and our bands.
Oh, no.
Beychella versus Mayochella. Who you got? God. Never mind, I don't even gotta ask. Of course you got Beyonce.
100%. 1,000%.
We did not watch the entirety of the Taylor Swift. Just to catch y'all up to speed, if you haven't heard about this, Beyonce did a homecoming theme for her Coachella performance. Taylor Swift at the Billboard Music Awards did a performance where she incorporated a band like you would have in a homecoming, like Beyonce had in her homecoming performance. Was it appropriation? Was it copying? I know it was trash. I know it was trash.
To be quite honest, I don't think it was appropriation at all.
What do you think?
I think it was just garbage. I think like bad. It was like the diet version of whatever Beyonce put out. Like,
facts.
Like, I don't even know where to start with how like the
we watched even like a minute of
it. Even the band was like rigid. They were just like, yeah, we made it on thing.
Would you have been? So the majority of the people in Taylor Swift's marching band were white. Mm-hmm. Even though I feel like the marching band and the like it's such a thing in Black culture. It was weird to not to say that white people can't be in marching bands. I know out in the Midwest y'all do that shit fine, but for performances and stuff, like think about like drumline and shit like that. Like that's a thing in our culture. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So would you have been more or less offended if she had all Black people in her?
Like that's what I was actually gonna get to that, and I think it would have been worse if she had like an all Black or HBCU marching band.
I agree. Her performance probably would have been improved, but it would have been more offensive.
And you know what the thing was? It was just like you could go tit for tat with each performance. Like they had the marching band, they had the people like kind of dancing or whatever. The marching band wasn't as great. The dancing wasn't as great. She even had a dress like similar to one of the ones that Beyonce wore. The dress wasn't as great. And then she even came out in like, that classic Beyonce pose, light behind her. Like, just like even the entrance. And I was just like, wow, she really trying to be white Beyonce right now. It was just weird. Like,
who do you think is white Beyonce? Is there a white Beyonce?
There's no such thing as white Beyonce.
If you had to pick somebody,
I would not pick anyone. That's not a thing.
You have to.
I have to.
Yeah, just like
Who would you pick?
Not to say that this is someone that we hold in the same esteem and high regard as Beyonce, but someone white people. I probably would say Lady Gaga. And
That's facts.
I'm not a huge Lady Gaga fan, but I feel like I like her. Cool. I'm not like a super fan, but she puts on a good show, and I feel like white people dick ride her like we do Beyonce. So.
Well, that's facts.
Yeah.
Yep. Damn, Lady Gaga.
And she's talented. Beyonce. I do think Lady Gaga has talent.
She is definitely talented, though. So don't take that from her.
I wouldn't. Yeah. She can actually sing. She can play piano. Taylor Swift can't sing.
Are pretty good.
I've never liked Taylor Swift, but when we were watching that shit, I was like, wow, she actually can't really sing.
Yeah, she's mediocre at best.
Mediocre at best.
You know, that's one thing to tell you, that advertising will get you farther than talent will.
Yeah, that's facts.
The right marketing team is better than anything.
So all in all, I didn't feel like it was a huge like appropriation, but if anybody wanted to call her out for that, I'd be in full support because I'm a hater. I don't like Taylor Swift. She represents like everything that I dislike stereotypically about white women, like that white woman victim mentality. She's all crying about something.
I honestly,
and she lives
am
on
all
top
supportive about Kanye still coming
saying.
back to interrupt every one of her performances.
Facts. I wish. And I don't even like Kanye anymore. I dislike Taylor Swift so much that she once made me root for the Kardashians. When Kim was pulling out the receipts, I was like, Kim, a bitch, which I've never felt in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I've never felt since.
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah.
Did you know that Kim Kardashian just got somebody out of jail? Did you?
Anyway.
I just wanted to see if that would like raise your spirits back to the levels that you had on them.
On the topic though of like taking sides, is there a situation where you feel like you would ever take the side of a white person versus a black person if we were talking about something like a racial issue?
Yeah, absolutely. If the black person was wrong.
Yeah?
100%.
Okay, I'll give you something this week then.
Okay, that's cool, because if there was like an Uncle Ruckus and some like, and a white savior, I'm going like, all right, like
this is what happened. Let me tell you. So AG Barr, not like the Attorney General Barr, not like his name is AG. Attorney General Barr. He was supposed to testify this week in front of Congress about the Mueller report. He didn't show up, which apparently, you know,
you can do, I guess, when you're an attorney general.
Yeah. Though they have been threatening to hold him in contempt of court and this or that. And one of the senators brought in like a ceramic chicken and a bucket of KFC, which I fully support, by the way, but also confirms what we already knew, that everyone in our government is a child. And Facts. He put it next to the chair where AG Barr would have been testifying. And then Silk and Diamond, you know, Trump's Uncle Ruckus pair, said that it was racially insensitive. AG Barr, by the way, is a white man. So,
as you said, they're just some Uncle Ruckuses. To be honest with you, like I said, just because a black person says something doesn't mean I'm going to automatically agree because I'm also black. Like, there's just some shit that's bullshit.
I feel like that's generally my rule, but I have like, then there are these exceptions. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, nah. I think I play everything as is. Like, you're not just gonna say some bullshit. I don't care what the color of your skin is, and just have me agree. I feel like,
well, this is interesting. Have you ever taken like one of those bias tests where it shows you your bias?
No.
You can take a bias test, and it's like, part of it was actually literally that you have a gun and it has people like pop up and you either shoot them, like there's something like they have a weapon on them or something. It was a weird like thing I did on the internet, but I actually got that I have a bias towards black people.
Wow.
Yeah, which percentage wise is not the norm, even amongst black people.
Interesting.
Some people were neutral. I'm wondering if you would be in the neutral.
I would.
I want you to take it.
Yeah,
we don't have much to discuss here because you haven't taken it yet. I want you to go on the internet and shoot people.
I'd see how I'd lean. That's cool.
Yeah, most people have a bias towards white people. Not even like that you would like white people more, just that you think they're less threatening. Which I could see a majority of people thinking.
I could definitely see how that's a thing.
Yeah.
Because black people are perceived as threatening and physical and big or whatever.
Right.
Like, we're just
even amongst
seen as
the black,
physical creatures amongst everyone.
Exactly.
Including other black people.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised about that.
Yeah.
And also weed and gangs and all that other stuff.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Yeah. But okay. Let's move from one crime to another. What's happening in New York this week? Besides the fact that the Nets are out.
You didn't have to take it there.
You're not even a Knicks fan, are you? You're a Knicks fan.
I mean,
what do you care?
I'm a New York fan. Yeah. Just, don't you like the Yankees? Fuck
out of here. No, I don't go by that philosophy. I'm not going to root for a team just because they're from New York.
I didn't say you would. I didn't know what you're talking about.
Anyway.
But yeah, not only are the Nets out of the playoffs, D'Angelo Russell's out of his goddamn mind. What the fuck was this man thinking?
What is he ever thinking with those doo-doo braids and like...
Listen, don't play my man's style. That's just fashion.
You think that looks good?
I mean, he chilling.
He looks like a hound dog.
Listen, let my man rock. Let him do his thing.
Let him rock? Okay. Was he letting Nick Young rock?
Yeah, so he got into some wild legal trouble because he brought weed to an airport.
Not only that, he hid the weed in a fake Arizona can.
You know what?
In his carry-on. You're not allowed to bring a liquid on the plane.
Yeah.
Of course they're gonna confiscate your liquid and then the drugs in it. What?
I got enough of that. You're absolutely right. Like, I don't understand why you would even think that.
You can't take on the plane. There's something you can't take on the plane.
First off, I want you to know, I don't know where D'Angelo Russell is from originally. That's the most Brooklyn nigga I ever heard of in my life. This man said, what's the most Brooklyn way to get this through the airport? All right, I know. A can of Arizona. I'm going to do that. And not only am I going to do it, but I'm going to do it in such a dumbass way.
That is very Brooklyn.
Yeah, it is.
It'd be fucking stupid.
Listen. I'm talking to Brooklyn people right now.
I know you said it yourself, though.
All right, listen.
Echoing you. I'm just agreeing. I concur.
We'll get to Queens later.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just dumb. Like, he could have at least threw it in check-in. He could have at least checked it in. Like,
I know.
Were you gonna smoke the weed on the plane? Like, did you need it by your side? Like at that exact moment? I don't understand what he was doing.
Just put it in something like that they would. You know what I'm saying?
Was it like the end of that challenge? What's the name? Episode of Atlanta, where they just like have the gun and they just like passed it down, and D'Angelo Russell was the one that ended up with it. Like, I don't understand what kind of fucking situation.
No, I know. This reminds me. Speaking of guns, of when Juelz tried to bring the guns through Newark.
Yeah, that was also quite dumb.
If you're a celebrity and you have, paraphernalia or you got like a piece on you, have someone else carry it for you.
You think it was planted on him?
No.
I don't think so.
He's dumb as shit.
Yeah, like nobody even like that thought to go down like somebody set him up. We just like
he was dumb when he got those braids in, and he was dumb when he leaked a video of his teammate. And I'm not even...
That did happen.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. And I think D'Angelo Russell's just dumb. Like, this is the thing. No way do I condone cheating, and I think Nick Young is clearly kind of trash. But, like, at the end of the day, that's your friend. Do you know what I'm saying? That's your teammate.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Because you're dumb. It was like...
Why would you even make a video of your friend confessing to cheating on their significant other if you weren't maliciously plotting to?
I totally forgot that he did that.
That's what I'm saying. Like...
I think we should give him a break.
What?
Because, is it his fault that he's dumb?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. He's just dumb. I don't know what to tell you about this man.
Oh, boy.
I don't know what level of stupid you have to be to try to bring weed onto a plane in an Arizona can. Like you said, first off, it holds liquid that you can't bring in there anyway. Like, did someone's like, this is gonna be a good idea? Did someone like coerce him or like, yo, do it?
You keep giving this, but nobody. It's a juvenile.
Some things are so dumb to me that I need a reasonable explanation.
It's a teenage decision like Dookie braids. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's all we got for this week.
Yeah. So what did we learn today? We learned just don't bring weed into airports. Don't bring anything illegal into airports.
Or if you do, hide it better.
We learned that not everything related to chicken is racist. Well, we learned we didn't learn anything about my level of bias yet, but we'll find out.
Well, you gotta check in next week and tell people what you got on the test. I'll send it to you.
And we learned that I guess we have to be the solution to our own problems because we can't trust the police to fix it themselves.
That's facts. Ending on a high note then. See you next week. Bye.
Peace.